When people say we don't have the time, we have 24 hours a day. We sleep 6 hours a day, so that gives you still 18 hours.
Until this room redefines success into waking up in the morning and being happy versus money, we will be in a bad place.
Right? You are coming against a powerful force, the enemy, nature, time. There's all kinds of things that are going against you. It's a losing battle. And if you don't use force of will, then you're not going to get it done. You have to be aggressive and make things happen.
I'm allergic to average. And the problem with a lot of you is you're not allergic to average, all right? You're the one giving 80%, like you're the one that's not all in. It's on you, you're not 120. Because success is allergic to average. Success and average don't have nothing to do with each other.
You are allergic to simple. You are allergic to ordinary. You gotta show the world that you mean business. You gotta show the world that you come to take action. See, greats like you jump over hurdles, run through barriers, but never ever stop grinding to win.
Your problem is you think you can have an average mindset and get to the next level.
You need to make things happen. I am going to take action. I'm going to overcome obstacles. I'm going to push through roadblocks. I'm not going to take no for an answer.
Listen to me, I'm allergic. Are you hearing me? I'm allergic to average. And the problem with a lot of you is you're not allergic to average, all right? You gotta do me a huge favor, man. You lying to yourself. On one point, you saying you wanna be great. You wanna do great things. You wanna have greatness. You wanna be great. Listen to me, but on the other hand, for real, you comfortable with average. And I told you, listen to me, I don't care what side of the railroad track you were born on. I don't care if you were fluent. I don't care if you privileged. I don't care if you grew up in poverty, with the father, without a father, with a mom, without adopted. I don't care. Listen to me. The reason why I'm telling you that I'm allergic to average is not personal. ET is allergic to it because success is allergic to average. Success and average don't have nothing to do with each other.
You are allergic to simple. You are allergic to ordinary. Talk is cheap. So you can say that you're allergic to average, but are your actions backing it up? You gotta show the world that you mean business. You gotta show the world that you come to take action. See, greats like you jump over hurdles, run through barriers, but never ever stop grinding to win.
You can't say there's certain dreams and goals, there are things you want to have and things you want to be if you are still average. You got to get to the point where you get allergic to average. You don't think average, you don't perform average. Listen to me, when I tell you success and average have absolutely nothing to do with each other, this is what I'm telling you. Your boss can't stand average. Your coach can't stand average. Your teacher can't stand average. Your spouse, listen to me, your mama might put up with it. Your daddy might put up with it. But listen to me very closely. Nobody really likes average because average attracts average.
You can't help it that you suffer from ambition. You can't help it that you suffer from trying to be great. You can't help it that you suffer for trying to go to the next plateau. You can't help it that every fiber of your being, every fiber of your existence wants to win. You can't help it that you suffer from a severe case of aspiration, purpose, and dream chasing. That's the exact reason why you keep racing, because you're trying to catch up to your dreams. Because they won't do it, that has absolutely nothing to do with you. Some people have a problem for every solution. Some people don't believe that they can achieve at a high level. Some people are okay doing what normal people do, doing what average people do, doing just enough to get by. But that's not you. You have dreams, you have goals, you have aspirations, you have desires. And you are taking action to make all of your dreams a reality. They gotta go, because now it's back to the grind, because now it's back to the shine, because now it's back to getting after it, now it's back to going all in. for what you said you wanted.
I need you to speak it one time. One time, that's it. I need you to say it one time. I need you to get it out in the atmosphere. I need you to say it so you can hold yourself accountable to what you said. Tell a friend so they can hold you accountable. But after you say it once, shut your mouth, go into the lab and get to work. Are you hearing me? Shut your mouth. Shut up. You didn't hear me say a million times I was going to speak for the NFL, but I'm in the NFL. You didn't hear me say a million times I was going to Australia. You heard me say it once, then I went in the lab and I got to work. Let me tell you something very carefully, because I'm tired of people calling me. I'm tired of people emailing me. I'm tired of people texting me and saying, E.T., it's not working, E.T. I'm grinding, E.T. I'm hustling. E.T. is not working. Listen to me very carefully. You reap what you sow. Don't get it twisted. You reap what you sow. Now, if you don't see what you think you should see, understand that to grow a bush and to grow a tree, it take a little bit more time, boo. So yeah, you've been studying for 3 months. And yeah, you've been grinding for 1 year. And yeah, you've been hustling for 2 years now, and you're not seeing what you, but guess what? I told you before, you've been doing it for 2 years, but what were you doing the other 30 years? What were you doing the other 21 years? So it's gonna take time. But listen to me very closely. If you would get yourself in the lab, say it, write it down, look at it, but get in the lab, number one, and start working on it.
When you have an extraordinary mindset, you are determined to make the impossible possible. You are determined to make the unbelievable believable. You are determined to do more each and every day than that average person will do in a whole week. You are determined to do more in a week than an average person does in a month. You are determined to do more in a month than an average person does in a whole year.
Some of y'all, you lying to yourself. You say you want to be great. You say you want to get to the next level. You say you want to be dominant on that field. You say you want to go to the Final Four. You say you want to be a national champion. Listen to me. You say you want a promotion. You say you want to start your own business. But listen to me very closely. You talk too much. Shut up, get in the lab, and let's go to work. Go to work and do your work. Listen to me. Don't just go to work when you feel like it. Go to work every single day. Work on it every day.
You know when you are guilty of wasting time and laying in bed and you're being lazy. You know it. Whether that was 7 o'clock in the morning or 6 o'clock in the morning, you know it. You have to start the cycle of waking up early by waking up early.
Success is not convenient. You have to do what is required to accommodate success.
Holding the line, maintaining the standard, giving no slack, none. That's the discipline.
There are opportunities that are going to come your way, and there might be some other things going on, and you have to make a choice. You have to ask yourself the question,
What do you want? Because if you don't know what you want, nothing else matters.
how I'm about to use my time. Is it positive? Is it purposeful? Is it leading in the direction of where I'm going and the meaning of my life? Is it productive? And is it profitable?
But when you know what you want, why do you wake up at 3? Because I know what I want.
One thing that discipline definitely does help you with is it helps you get things done. And when you get things done, when you actually do things, you have more success.
I wake up, boom, and I go pursue it. And if you're going to really be successful in life, if you're going to have it, if you're going to be it, you're going to do it, I need you to take personal responsibility. And I want you to say, the reason I'm not as amazing yet, because I hit the snooze button. That's why I'm not amazing right now.
A big part of success is just not being lazy and just doing it. That's like 90% of it is just showing up.
The reason why I'm not amazing right now is because I couldn't get up early enough, because I told myself I'm not an early person.
Get there and start working. Like, you're not gonna feel perfect every day. If I only worked out when I felt good, I'd be a fat.
I'm not amazing because I would prefer to make excuses than make adjustments. That's why I'm not amazing.
Because there's a lot of days I don't want to do it. It's pretty much the same with everybody that actually gets good at something.
I want you to do me a huge favor. I want you to stop talking about this person didn't do that person didn't do this, didn't have that, I didn't grow up here, I didn't get this advantage, I didn't get, kill it, kill it.
There's got to be those days you push through.
Are you hearing what I'm saying? Why haven't you reached amazing yet? Just keep it 100. I'm not amazing because I'm lazy. Just look at yourself in the face and be honest. I'm not amazing because I'd rather spend my money on shoes. I'd rather spend my money on stuff than to make a sacrifice in a book or to fly and go. I'm not amazing because I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing to be amazing.
And getting up early is not only an incredible competitive advantage because most of your competitors are asleep, but getting up early is a great gift you give yourself. You get more life.
I always say that I'm like the most lazy, disciplined person I know because I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
But I always do.
Do you want to be an artist? Do you want to be an engineer? I don't know, but I want you to start the year off. We're not talking about, fake dreaming and just writing goals down to be doing it. I'm talking about knowing what you want, because when you know what you want, that's where the drive comes from. That's where the passion comes from.
When the thing is done, when the discipline has been implemented, remember what that feels like, and then remember that those minutes and those hours, they turn into weeks and months and years, and holding the line in those critical minutes will put you in an infinitely better place, physically and mentally, if you maintain the discipline.
If I don't have my morning routine game, I feel, out of sorts. So I think it's true for everybody. You got to own your morning. You got to win it, because that starts and sets up everything else. People need that discipline, those routines that will help the rest of the day go better. Get some momentum and be okay if that momentum is really small, because it will build. Trust that momentum builds, and trust that those gloomy and bad, dark days, trust that those are going to be there. Honor the difficulty. When we honor the struggle instead of hate the struggle, we can really achieve extraordinary things because our mindset's in the right place.
Now, the first night, you're gonna have a hard time going to sleep. What you do is the next morning, you wake up early anyways. That first night, you only got 5 hours worth of sleep, and now you're tired throughout the day. Good! Because then when you get to bed that night, you will turn off that computer and you'll be able to go to bed earlier like you wanted to.
You can live on 6 hours sleep, so you have 18 hours. You have 18 hours. I wanna know what you're doing with your 18 hours. Because you can work your 9 to 5, and that's 9, and you can travel for an hour here and there, respect, nice little solid commute. Oh, you wanna be a family man? Mazel tov. You can spend 2 hours with your kids. What are you doing with those other 5 hours? You're watching House of Cards. You're playing Madden. You're relaxing from the other intense 10. Gary, I already spent 11 hours. Well, great, then don't complain or want more. Respect that by getting rest and this and that, you were giving up opportunity to go into a new world. You want the audacity to have a 1% life. Let's call it what it is. You want to live as well as the 1 to 2% in the world. It's not very complicated. The math is very raw. If you want to have one of the best lives in the world, which is you live on your terms, you have to pay your dues to get there. And you have to be lucky enough to figure out that you had talent in the thing that you actually want to do. Because you can work 24 hours a day, and if you stink at golf, or you're not a good content producer, or your logos look like that I would make, then you're gonna lose. So that's what you gotta do.
It drives me crazy when people say they don't have enough time to go to the gym for 45 minutes a day and work out. Or to do something for 45 minutes to an hour a day to improve. If it is physically improve, or if it is mentally to improve. Imagine you read 1 hour a day about history. How much you will learn after 365 hours in 1 year. Think about if you study about the history of musicians, of composers, how much you would know. Imagine if you would work on a business, on some business that you want to develop every day for an hour. Imagine how further along you will go and get. So it drives me nuts because when people say we don't have the time, we have 24 hours a day. We sleep 6 hours a day. So that gives you still 18 hours. Now, there's someone shaking their head out here in front. They say probably, I don't sleep 6 hours, I sleep 8 hours, right? But just sleep faster. So with 18 hours a day, the average person works around 8 to 10 hours. So let's assume it's 10 hours, so we have 8 hours left. Then you travel around an hour a day, maybe 2 hours a day. So now you have still 6 hours left. So what do you do with these 6 hours? What do you do with these 6 hours? Then we eat a little bit, then we schmooze a little bit, talk a little bit to people and all that stuff. But you can see how much time there is available if you organize your day. So you got to work hard. I mean, let me tell you something. When I went to America, I went to college. I went and worked out 5 hours a day. And I was working on construction. Because in those days in bodybuilding, there was no money. I didn't have the money for food supplements or anything. So I had to go to work. So I worked on construction. I went to college. I worked out in the gym, and at night from 8 o'clock at night to 12 midnight, I went to acting class 4 times a week. So I did all of that. There was not one single minute that I wasted. And this is why I'm standing here today.
If you died today, what dreams, what ideas, what talents, what books, what music, what leadership, what voice will die with you?
There are a lot of people who are biting their fingers in fear that they might lose their jobs. But there are few people who have decided within themselves, I'm going to make it. Some people aren't waiting to be cut. Some people are moving on their own because they feel within themselves, I've got what it takes to make it. They're not afraid about tomorrow because of how they see themselves, because of what they feel that they deserve, because of what they feel that they can create for themselves. Because these people have decided, as they look at the future, as they look at themselves, there's a way. Where there's a will, there's a way for me to begin to create a way out of no way. And when you have that kind of consciousness, when you have that kind of spirit, nothing can stop you. Nothing.
There's no secret to success. There's a system to success. And no matter what organization you become a part of, the system works if you work it. If you don't work it, it won't work. But it works if you work it. And that's one 4-letter word that most people don't like. They're not willing to work.
As human beings, we need to understand that everything that we do is governed by our view of the future. But not just tomorrow, not just next week, the future that you can create in 6 months, 6 years, or 60 years. Because everything we do as human beings is governed by this view of the future that we see. But most people don't see a future beyond today, tomorrow, next week. And most people are just getting on with being average. Most people are just getting on with being like everybody else. This is your wake-up call to just get on with doing what you know that you could do. That if you did every single day, all of a sudden, you would completely reinvent yourself. You would apply the most powerful law on the universe, the law of compounding. So who is the person that you could become? Are you just getting on with ruminating, going over and over things inside your mind and never taking the action to really break through? Are you just getting on with being distracted, letting your impulses get the better of you? Take this as a wake-up call, You see, the word distraction comes from the same Latin root word, trahere, which means distraction or traction. And in life, it's really important to wake up to the reality that you're either moving forwards to something you want, or you're moving away from something you don't want. Right here, right now, what do you have the opportunity to just get on with? So if you want to change, let's start by looking at what are you just getting on with. Let's look at your personal truth. This is the reality of the experience of being you. It's what you're saying to yourself and what you're doing when no one is around. But it's also what you're really doing, what you're really intently focusing on. It's where you're being intentional. But look, here's a warning. Don't judge, don't blame, don't criticize when you put the spotlight on yourself. Because when you put the spotlight on yourself, you're going to see where you're putting your energy. You're going to see your insecurities. You're going to see your imperfections. I know that the biggest challenge that we all have is learning how to think greater than we feel. You see, most people right now, they are stopping themselves from making breakthroughs. So the time has come for you to realize that the breakthroughs come by doing the things that are difficult and challenging and that you don't feel like doing. But if you want something enough, if you really want to become your future self, then surely you've got to understand right here, right now, that how you feel really isn't that important. You see, your power is in your ability to connect to your future self and behave in the way where you bring your future self to the life you can create every single day. So stop putting your life on hold and ask yourself, what can I just get on with? And every time you're stuck, listen to this again and ask yourself, what can I just get on with? What can I do right now that if I did it in this moment, everything would change? When you're feeling stuck, when you're feeling confused, when you're feeling like, I don't know what to do, just ask yourself, what could I just get on with? Because your ability to just get on with just getting on is where you will unleash the power that you have. Human beings are works in progress who mistakenly think that they're finished. We think that who we are is who we're always gonna be. You can reinvent yourself. A great life, it doesn't happen by chance. It happens by design. And the best way to design that life right here, right now, is to just get on with it. Say it with me. Just get on with it. And in this moment, what will you do that will transform your life today? Just get on with it.
You should be a monster. Because everyone says, well, you should be harmless. You don't want to be too aggressive. You don't want to be too assertive. You want to take a back seat. No. You should be a monster. And then you should learn how to control it.
The definition of being aggressive is forceful and sometimes overly assertive pursuit of one's aims. In combat, almost nothing will happen the way you want it to if you don't force it that way. The enemy, nature, time, there's all kinds of things that are going against you. It's a losing battle. And if you don't use force of will, then you're not going to get it done. What it means is you need to make things happen. This is the good thing about being aggressive. Sure, there's certain parts of your nature that are aggressive, but it can also be trained. You can start to think with an aggressive mindset, which is I am going to take action. I'm going to overcome obstacles. I'm going to push through roadblocks. I'm not going to take no for an answer. And those are things that you can train. There's so often times where people, they get told no or they hit an obstacle and it's game over for them. They're just done. They're done training. They're over it. And your attitude, you have to go, okay. Little roadblock, cool. How am I going to get through it? How am I going to get around it?
What I need you to do is evaluate yourself today. Evaluate yourself to see where you are in this race of life. Many of you don't even realize that you've been racing to the finish line. This life is a race. Some of you need to be pushed to start running because you've been walking or you haven't been moving for so long. And you don't even know that you're in a race that all of us are competing to win. But it doesn't matter where you finish. It matters that you run after your goals and your dreams. The way to live is to run after your dreams, to run after your goals, and to run after that finish line. There may be things in your life right now that's holding you back from running, but you have to break through those things. They're there to hinder you, but you can't let it force you to stop running. Chase your dreams, chase your goals. I don't know the situation you're in right now, but the situation that you're in is not your future. It's not who you really are. It's not your full potential. The sky's the limit, but it all starts from within. It's all up to you.
You should be a monster.
You have to be hungry for greatness.
You got to go through it to get to it. You got to understand that there are going to be many circumstances that will require your full, undivided attention. You got to go through it to get to it. You have to understand it has to be a unique mindset. Setting a goal and then going beyond it. Realizing that there's work to be done. Making sure that all of the strings are attached. And make no mistake along the way. Now it's true that we all make mistakes. And we will have many setbacks. But there's always room for a comeback. To understand this, you must realize that you must humble yourself, but yet be hungry enough to go after it with everything inside of you.
I want you to tell us what those lowest moments of childhood felt like in one word.
Temporary. Absolutely temporary. There was just no way I was gonna let that person beat me again. And there was just no way I was gonna stay comfortable in this negative place. Just a matter of time. Some things are just destiny, you know? Look, everybody goes through a moment in their life where everything you thought up to that second vanishes, and you realize that there's an opportunity to change the story that you've written in your head for the last 2-3 decades. And I think it's universal. I think there are very few people who don't get to a point at year 20, 30, 35 that don't start debating, wait a minute, is this what I want? Is this where I'm going? Is this how it's playing out? And, you know, to me, that is one of the most important moments in one's life. You know, many people look at it as a moment to start to get upset and say, wait a minute, this is not what I signed up for. And others, regardless of what's happened, use it as an opportunity to write the next chapter. You know, I think anybody who's listening right now, if you want to set yourself up for success, ask yourself how much risk you've taken in the first 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 years of your life. When I started talking about business on Twitter, Every single comment in 2009 was, shut your mouth, wine boy, stay in your lane. I'm telling you right now, you wanna talk about why so many of you aren't exactly where you wanna be? Look deep inside yourself on what your expectations of others are. Ask yourself how much you've been succumbing to peer pressure. Like if you've always wanted to be cool to the popular kids in your high school, you're in trouble. The amount of people in here that have a job they hate and they buy things they don't care about to impress people they don't give a fuck about scares the shit out of me. Most people spend money on dumb things, which then forces them to do things they don't want. Long before I became the wine guy on YouTube and Twitter, I was a businessman. And I think if it's your truth, there's a very big difference between being an entrepreneur and a successful entrepreneur. I can say that I'm a football player, doesn't mean I'm gonna get paid to do it. And so I think the truth, I think it's unbelievably exciting for me. It feels warm in my heart that the thing that I've seen consistently, analyzing this every second of my breathing day for the last decade, has been whatever your truth may be, as long as it is actually your truth, you will always over-index. And people have told me to not curse on stage, you know, my agents who book, like, stop cursing on stage because we're losing so much money. I'm like, I can't. I have to be me, and wherever the chips fall, and I think for everybody, A, it's fun because it's easier, and B, audiences are smart, to your point. You can smell when that person wants to put their agenda through. And so I think the truth, which is a very exciting answer to this question, the truth is undefeated. My friends, accountability, giving with no expectation in return, playing the long game, every single person's business or ambition will grow exponentially tomorrow if they spend the next 13 years giving away free content forever. Seems super non-natural. When do you monetize? How do you do this? The person that holds the breath the longest wins. Until this room redefines success into waking up in the morning and being happy versus money, we will be in a bad place. Think about two core things, in my opinion. One, you have to, at all costs, not beat your own self up with yourself. At all costs. It's huge. Yeah. You need to really be your own biggest fan instead of critiquing everything. Number two, moments in time. You've got to wrap your head around how young you actually are. You have to wrap your head around how early in the process this is and how this is just a very small moment in time. 400 trillion to 1. I just want everybody to hear this. This is the reason I'm happy 24/7, 365 for the rest of my life. 400 trillion to 1. The odds of becoming a human being. You might not like the human being situation you ended up in, but let me tell you this. Your mom might have grabbed another glass of wine and you never would have been. I mean, 400 trillion to 1. I've never seen anything